Hey there, Michael Bernoff here, author of Average Sucks, and today's topic, most important one of all, is to answer a very simple question. Why are people so negative? More importantly, why do people tell people to be positive and they don't listen? So I can guarantee you either you've had a moment in your life you've been negative and shouldn't have been, or you've got that person, that friend, that guy friend, that girlfriend, that family member, whatever, that like, God, they're just so negative. Like, can they not see anything positive in life? And what's interesting about it is being in the personal development space for over 20 years, that's the big thing everybody thinks Michael does, like fix people and make them positive. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. So let's talk about today a really important topic: why human beings are naturally negative by nature. Let's get really clear with that. They're naturally negative by nature. And I'm going to tell you, it is not your fault. It's just the way this thing's wired. I'm going to show you all about that. And number two, what to do about it and how to live with negative people if you have them in your life. So let's do a little bit of backtracking real quick. Before we start getting into the terms of positive and negative, let's talk about this thing inside your head. It is called your brain. Now I'm going to talk about your brain, and a lot of people don't know the difference between your brain and your mind. They are two radically different things. So your brain is this like fleshy thing inside, no different than your MacBook Pro, no different than your Samsung product, your iPhone. It is the physical apparatus that inside of it has an operating system. So whether it's Snow Leopard 87, iOS 87450, or whatever droid thing is out these days, your mind is the operating system of your brain. So you might be thinking, okay, great. What's the point of the operating system? It has one really cool function. And this is going to explain to you why you've been distracted, where ADD comes from for a lot of people, and why you lose focus in life. So let's talk about this right now. Your mind's got a major program, and it's the number one thing. It's like, boop, when you flip it on, it does one really, really cool thing. Here's what it does. It keeps you alive, and it looks for advantages in life. So let's talk about this. Keeps you alive, makes sure you're breathing, doing all that kind of cool stuff, and it looks for advantages in life. So whatever you program as an advantage, I love cheesecake. Boom, your brain's like, where's cheesecake? That's why you wake up in the middle of the night wanting cheesecake. Your brain's like, I love that show. You said you love that show. So your brain makes you think about it all day long, or you're attracted to that person or that house or whatever it is that you're after in your life. Your brain is like, I want more, I want more, I want more. And it's always looking for advantages to make you feel better, to be a drug dealer for you. Yes, your mind is a drug dealer, releasing norepinephrine, serotonin, dopamine at will whenever you feel good, to make you think of things, think of donuts, think of the things you want, think of sex, think of happiness, think of joy, think of all those things you want. That's your brain leaking chemicals at any given moment. And what's amazing is the more you reinforce with language, I love this, I love that, I want this, you're probably not saying I love broccoli and your brain is wanting broccoli. You're probably saying I love candy and your brain wants candy almost immediately. So your brain's all day long looking for advantages, looking for advantages. I teach it to my clients all along. So make sure you pick what your advantages really are. The only thing that overrides this program, and here's where the negativity comes in, it's a little something called the avoidance program. And the avoidance could be like a mild paper cut. The avoidance program could be something that's mildly uncomfortable, something that makes you a little bit nervous, something that where you say to yourself, like, man, that didn't feel good. Like you go to dinner one night, you eat some food, it tasted good, you wake up, you feel like crap in the morning, you get food poisoning, your brain's like, avoid that restaurant permanently. Even though it was an advantage earlier, you loved it, you probably aren't going to go there ever again or like it, at least for a good couple of years. You've probably been there, and if you haven't asked someone food poisoning, they will make you not go to that restaurant also. So your brain is always looking for advantages unless it feels the need to avoid anything that it comes across, feeling, idea, picture, or anything in life. So when you say, Michael, why are people negative? And you probably don't say, Michael, why are people negative? You probably say your name. Why are people so negative? Why are they negative? Why am I freaking negative? Well, here's the reason. Your brain is obsessed with looking for what's wrong. Now, I want you to understand why. It's a very primitive thing that our brain does, or we have been around as human beings a very, very long time. Not 50 years, prior to YouTube, prior to Google, prior to IBM, prior to, Gutenberg with the press, caveman, prior to that shit. We have been around a very, very long time. And our brain typically is like, how do we not die? How do we not have something go wrong? So imagine this. You're driving down the street. You're a nice person. You're positively out in your car. You've got your Zen Buddha thing going. You're with your kids. You're eating your organic oats. Everybody's happy. You're in your car, just driving along, being peaceful. Car accident up ahead. You're a nice person. Why do you turn your head and look? Why do you keep looking? Why do you keep on checking out that car wreck? Here's why you're checking out that car wreck. Let's get really, really real. you're not a negative person. You're not looking for problems. Your brain wants to memorize every single thing about that car wreck. Here's why. So you don't experience it. Remember, your brain's always looking for advantages, keeping you safe, keeping you alive. So if it can memorize the negative thing from occurring, the thing that's uncomfortable, and memorize it and focus on it, keep it right here tattooed inside of your brain, let me tell you one thing that happens. You instantaneously know to avoid that down the road. And the idea of avoiding something that's very bad for you, could hurt you, harm you, make you feel like crap, is an advantage in life. So let me tell you this real quick. Being negative, your mind thinks is an advantage. Here's where the challenge comes in. Being negative doesn't help you get what you want. It just helps you avoid what it is you don't want. And you live a life of avoiding things that could harm you, which is getting ahead, making things happen. And you might say, Michael, it sounds safe. Well, it is safe if we're not avoiding things that we want. So let's just say for a second, you say to yourself, Michael, I want to make more money. Well, great. In order to make more money, you first need to say, I don't have enough. And I don't have enough is very uncomfortable, very scary for people to say. It's annoying. It's frustrating. So your brain goes, well, it's uncomfortable thinking about not having enough money. How about we just go spend some money and have less? Wow, that felt really good. I went to the store. I went to Happy Hour. I felt really good. Remember the chemicals coming out again. So here's the deal. Your friends, it's not that they're negative. They're only using part of their brain part of the time. They're optimizing the advantage of staying alive. And this is something that the media knows very, very well. So you might want to understand, like, who's this Michael Bernoff guy? You've never seen me before? Let me explain what I do. I own a company called the Human Communications Institute. And for the last 20 years, here's something really cool we've been doing. We believe that communication is the most underdeveloped and underutilized asset that we have in life to get anything you want. Point blank, it takes communicating to get what you want. So what I do is the good guy, like the Superman version of making things happen. Whether you like Superman or not, insert Batman, insert Wonder Woman, insert, I don't care, Catwoman, insert, I don't care who it is. My friendly people that I know, because we kind of hang out with each other, have the same set of skills, they work for the media. They work for CNN, they work for Fox, they work for NBC, they work for ABC, and you know what they do? They get your attention, lower your resistance, increase receptivity, and hold you watching those shows. Because you know what they understand? It's very easy to attract people's negativity because they need to memorize the negativity. I work with people in getting them to focus on the, not just say positive, how to use the negative of what could happen to drive people to get what it is they want in life. So here's the thing. Your brother-in-law is not negative. Your friend's not negative. They're just using part of their brain. So instead of walking up to people and going, hey, you should be positive, it's like, have you even thought there's another way of looking at this? Have you even thought that you've already memorized that? You've already figured out that whole thing? Do you really want a different perspective? So it's not about changing people. It's about understanding what's going on. They're using part of their brain that's very primitive. And most of us have to upgrade it. See, when we start thinking positive all the time and you start thinking possibilities, what happens is your brain a lot of times gets nervous and says, well, what if it doesn't work out? Or what if I go for that thing? What if I go for that relationship? What if I talk to that girl? What if I talk to that guy over there? What if I go for the punch and I get hit at the same time? Your brain confuses those two things. But the more time you spend in looking for advantages and labeling things correctly, that's where things start to change. So you might be saying, Michael, where do I start? Well, we start by labeling correctly and realizing everything in life is about labeling. Meaning that when you're in your fridge and you look at that cheesecake and you go, oh my God, this cheesecake is my favorite thing in the world. You've just made yourself obsessed with cheesecake. You made eating cheesecake an advantage. You want to know the guaranteed way to almost get divorced? All you got to say is this. After your wedding night, say, my best night of my life has been my wedding. What are you going to do the next couple days? What are you going to do next year? What are you going to do next month? What are you going to do for the next 15 years? If that's the best day, what do you expect from your husband and wife? An open bar every day, horse-drawn carriage? Do you need a $3,000 dress every day of the week? You got to position it correctly. Up till now, it's been an incredible day. Let's see what's going to happen down the road. See, what most people don't realize is we screw this up and we label things incorrectly. So think of it this way. We've got to start avoiding things in life, and we got to start putting things where they belong. So when you're driving by the drive-thru and you see McDonald's, because if you're watching this right now, you probably freaking are not a McDonald's fan. But when you look at it, you don't go, oh man, that would be nice. You go, I could pull in there. I could torture my body. I could mess up my nervous system. I could be a bad example for people around me, and I could show them what you shouldn't eat. You know what? I'm going to go in there. It's going to taste not as good. But a lot of us have to do this, and we have to realize, how do we label the things that we label in our lives? And we got to start putting the right position on things. So here's the thing. Back to this whole negative, positive thing. It isn't about negative, positive. is your life working the way you want it to? Are you getting what it is you want? We live, and this is gonna be a whole nother video, a whole nother day. We live in a very fear-based culture. And you might be saying, Michael, how do we get out of fear-based culture? First thing you gotta understand is fear. A lot of people think fear is all inside of them. Wait until you watch the video and you understand where fear actually comes from, where it actually lives, where it lives in association to you. No different than, it isn't that you're negative, you're just using half the brain instead of the other half. Once you start understanding this, you're going to be a person that when somebody shares the negative or the fear with you, you're going to be immune to it. So at the end of the day, how do we get immune to the negativity? Well, it's very simple. Number one is, got it, brain? I got it. And you're going to want to say that to your brain. I got it. I got the lesson. I understood it. I got it. I saw the car wreck. Got it. Not going to do that. Let's focus over here. Once you start to do that, that's where things start to change. So we'll recap very, very quickly. Brain, mind. Two different things. Always looking for advantages. Be clear on what an advantage is. And the brain will only get overrode looking for advantages if you choose to focus on your avoid program, which is always going to be circling in the background. It's always there like a shark circling. But if you get that shark to work with you and get that shark to go and you go over there, tell me what to avoid, your life is going to be even more powerful. So you want to make your life more effective, make certain to subscribe, make certain to check out the channel, check out the other videos, share with people you care about, because listen, if you walk up and say, hey, you should be positive, let me do that. You don't do that. You're annoying when you do that. Let my video do it. Well, they've watched it by this point, but let our video do that so you can stop telling people to be positive. You're annoying them. Stop doing it. Check out the stuff on the channel. Appreciate you. And look for the fear video coming soon. If you enjoyed this video, click subscribe and even hit the notification button right now so you won't miss out on any future videos. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook and visit my webpage for tons of valuable information. Videos, tools, techniques, and all kinds of stuff to help you take your life and your business to the next level. And always remember, the best is yet to come.